And here we are for Azure Dreams, the Game Boy Color port, which is pretty good, although described as a stripped-down port. It's basically a roguelite. Roguelike, actually. It's pretty good. Especially for a Game Boy Color game. Wreath and Guy, the parents of the hero. Actually has a pretty good number of names we could, letters we could put in his name. I'll stick with the default for now. It's pretty short. Apparently we're a little rough when we were young. The tower is, the entire reason this town exists in the middle of the desert. It is full of monsters, and it is the only place where monster eggs can be found. Guy, our father, is like considered the best monster tamer in existence. So, yeah, we're basically essentially the son of God. That's how people treat our father. Or should I say, they treat Guy. They don't really bother us that much. Mainly because we're really young. Old people. That's not a human. Familiar, the term this game uses, for some reason, for monster. That's a good point. I love the fact her butler is called Loiter. The best screen. The best. Just silence. Remember, in this place, Basically, you have to enter the tower to earn your money. There are restrictions regarding who can enter the tower. And apparently our mother is not allowed. So yeah, it's been some hard living these last, few years. Capital H for no reason. He's either really stuck in there, or something has badly happened. Weedy. I'm not sure, but I'm fairly certain. Weedy here is actually technically Ko's younger sister. It's never specified, it's just, this is Weedy. Just out of nowhere, this is Weedy. Also in this one, she's apparently our cousin. Which I'm not sure in the PlayStation 1 whether that's the case or not, considering she's romanceable. In that one, I don't think she is in this one. Weedy is most definitely a younger sibling. And there are some dialogue choices. This is actually pretty handy. Sometimes the choices are a little less divisive. Ah, yes, the good old explanation of a roguelike. They're quite nice. A lot of replayability to them. Though with this one, death is not a problem. Always danger. Go and good luck. An apple. Younger siblings and cousins. Well, here we are in the place. There's fortune tellers, shops, our tiny house surrounded by a lot of potential land. Monster place for fusing monsters. We'll cover more of this as we go along. A general store for buying items, or selling items, I think, also as well. Armory. I think this is, Oh, this must be a... Yeah, this is Nico's house. Ah, yes. There is more than we can do than just learn a good living. We can improve the town. But of course. We have to have money sink somehow. That is one of the side quests we can do. That is Nico's house, significantly larger than ours. That is the, this is Selfie and What's-His-Face's house. Her brother. Nope, this is the other place. I know it's around here somewhere. This would be the place. Yes, you can tell by the music. It's a very short house, but that is their house. Hello, child. Yes, there are 3 seasons in this wonderful little world they live in. Just all manner of things we can do. However, there's not really much we can actually do. Believe it or not, there really isn't. We just have to go into the tower. Hmm? Who's this? Oh, this is him. Another one of Dad's familiars who is just several years late getting out somehow? Yeah, he's a bit unique. Most monsters don't speak. Yeah, Cune. It's just a useful name. He doesn't remember a thing. Well, it's understandable. It has been years. If he's been stuck in the tower that time, you know, who knows? Do we want to be rude or not? Well, we'll not be rude. I mean, Guy did say to be polite. And we have to honor him by at least, you know, not being horribly rude. Anyway, into the tower. And the basics. It's real important. Handy things like that. And here we are. Full of items, including yes. Your summoned monsters count as a item. Our status? His status, he's actually pretty useful. He's got some decent magic for a level 1 critter. And fire shot, you can actually aim it if you wanted to. It's just a basic fire attack. It's not hot, nothing special. Anyway, you can put him anywhere around you. Even some very handy AI selections, and the translation is actually pretty good. We have wait here, meaning it will just stay there. Follow me very silently and not do anything. Spell backup, which is godly. When I beat this game, it's a very godly setup there. Attack directly, which is to just stay in front of me and attack something, or pursue them to the ends of the earth. I like initially setting him to aggressive. You can also plan some fusions and things like that. A flame orb. Yeah, it even has a drawn-in map, a self-contained map. It's pretty nice. It's pretty well set up. I do enjoy it. And we can even equip ourselves with items, which we can use to hit things, which will come in very handy when we get some good support magic. I forget, he's got a lot of tutorial. Yes, you can increasing items and their power is very handy. And yes, running, very good. There's a lot of going forward and a lot of running around in this and most roguelites. Yes, you can even throw items, which can be very handy, and our first monster egg. Five familiars in a bag. Once we get that second collar, we'll be walking around with constantly 2 of those. And now we got our first one, a wump. Wumps, I think, are generally born from the cutesy eggs. There is a consistency to them. And yes, the wind classes, water classes, and fire classes of monsters. It's a nice weapons triangle. We'll just have a Q&A do this. And it is a turn-based game, and it is very roguelike. Turns only happen when you move or attack. It's very handy. Ah yes, the MP going down. Traps. Fortunately, unfortunately, traps are kind of annoying. Yeah, MP is a bit of a problem. Although, With this one, it hasn't currently been. Yeah, you could sacrifice your monster, but wind gems are more common. And our first lift. And the game begins properly on this floor. Although there's a lot of these scenes where people just run into you. Remember, this is the actual economy of the town, so it makes sense. I'm good to be a little sassy. I mean, we could be just straight up rude, but let's be a little sassy. It's just good to frustrate him. He deserves it. Yeah. Notice he's one of the few people who gets away with He gets away without having any monsters. He's just a skilled swordsman. And here we see more interesting things. And now we have a shield. And you always want to try and explore, because you never know. Wumps are pretty easy. Yeah, you just want to pick up all the items you can. And occasionally you'll have scenes like this. Catawumps are an evolved wump. I don't know what causes these scenes to occur. All I know is they do. And we've leveled up successfully. And enemies can miss. Exit Eye lets you see, I believe, where the exit sign is. Or space. We don't know where the exit sign is. That's what the wind gems are for. And enemies do spawn randomly. He is now level 2. That is good. The Wump will be good fodder, I think. And yes, enemies can trigger the traps, and that is very handy. And notice the EXP is kind of shared evenly. Rather nice like that. I think, we're gonna have him just attack directly. Right. You have to do that. It's a little... Oh, there was a penny we missed. Let's see, and that would, I believe, give us some more money. Let's see, but with nothing else to do, let's continue up. There are, I believe, 99 floors? But at some point you will be wanting to just leave. Ah, who is this old wizard? Marzin. Why, yes, we are. He does look pretty old. Be a little on the polite side. He always says we have a good name no matter what you call yourself. Anyway, he seems like a pretty interesting fella. Got a penny. Most of this, these early maps are... Yeah, sometimes traps just fail to trigger. Most of these are pretty systematically laid out. I mean, the ones where you encounter useful NPCs are always the same. those levels are doing pretty well for us. You can't actually run when an enemy is nearby. And that is a very handy thing to remember. Which is why the game stops you from running when an enemy's on screen. It's just so you can maneuver. It's actually rather nice like that. Red sand. Now, red sand and blue sand are for the strengthening of your offensive and defensive items. But again, like I said, you want to explore, because remember, the point is to make money. So you need to carry as much equipment, as many things as you can home. Items, monsters, it doesn't matter what. Well, let's see. What is our next, it doesn't say what our next experience is gonna be. Well, he's pretty close. Ko's pretty close, so I think after he's done, we're gonna pull out one of our wumps. Ooh, and a better shield? Is it though? Let's see, 12, I believe. I believe the Skin Deep was just as effective, but I believe it will sell for more. Yeah, it'll sell for more because it's got that plus on it. So it'll be handy to keep that. I think we're also getting full on inventory. There is a very amount of limited inventory space, and there's reasons for that. Anyway, with that, we are currently done with this floor. And this is why I try to have... There we go. The monsters have some form of independence. Our equipment is what matters more than... And our Wump, what is he set to? We're gonna want him to provide spell backup, and you'll be behind me. He will never... The reason I have this is, it's more useful for a weaker monster to provide backup, which is just enhance your attacks with spells. Just handy. We're meeting all sorts of people who recognize us because of our famous father. I mean, he was really famous. All these characters. I don't know how much scale actually shows up, but he might. There we go. We are currently too full. Well, let's use this red sand. It does have a chance to fail. In fact, quite a chance to fail. Okay, and we've got a gold eye. These are always handy to use. These eyes, these are always handy to have. Especially the trap eye, because some traps can be very nasty. Now, once again, our strength is not what matters. But like I said, handy to have. Some enemies are more aggressive than others. The Wumps and Catawumps are not terribly aggressive. Fire Ray is, I believe, some sort of spell-like thing we can cast, similar to the Orbs. Orbs, I believe, sell for a lot of money. So you kind of want them. This should get Wump some experience. And like I said, since we start at level 1 every time we enter, monster levels are much more important. Ah, the seeds. Seeds are very handy. Ooh, an egg. Eggs are always good. I believe these are permanent upgrades. More cutesy. But we finally encountered enemies other than wumps. And Wump is now a Catawump. Yeah, some enemies are pretty nasty. But like I said, HP regenerates automatically, or as you move. An elf rain. I think that's to hold an enemy in place. Okay, what's the status on Wump here? Catawump. See, Catawumps just don't get much health. They do have that. Now the water one has some nice. I'll turn you into a frog for a while. Elf Rain is, I believe, a stun? Okay, it prevents your familiar from getting lost. It holds them to you, basically. Which is handy because it may not look it, but they can get detached rather easily. Blue oil. Ooh, it's an Octos. I'm apparently wrong when it comes to a lot of things. That's an Octos egg. Might as well hatch it and see what it is. Oh, Octos are pretty good. Pretty good, actually, for being this early in the game. Normally you just get Wumps for quite some time. Not that they sell for much. I'm thinking right around floor 10 we're gonna have to turn back. Once, of course, we stop meeting all these people. Well, we are kind of young, so... They apparently are dropping some frames. Okay, yeah, rust traps. They are rather nasty. Yeah, the internet's being a little picky, and it's not even by a lot. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh well. There's a lot of unique items in this game. The important thing to remember is to fight everything you come across, even though some of them, like the Gennies, can paralyze you and kill you in very short order. In truth, this kind of... using the monster to power up your attacks is... when you get really good weapons. I mean, really good weapons. Late game... there's an Octos. It's just the way to go. I basically had a wind submarine, and it was really good. I won't try and replicate the exact specifics, but it was good. Seeds are very good. Sometimes spells just miss. And notice he's still Wump. That is the name we gave him. That was a critical hit, too. And again, leveling up your allies, the monsters, is very important. Even if he is just a Wump, he gets pretty powerful with these assault spells. Although, because they're support spells, you kind of can't surround an enemy and just lay into them. Which is handy for certain enemies, to just be able to do that. So when we get that other collar, one in front, one behind, is very much the way to go. Wait, what was that Maza seed all about? Increases your level. Not actually that handy. I think they sell for a halfway decent chunk. We'll find out. Ah, yes. Scale. Stealing Vita Seeds. Yeah, that's probably one of the more common interruptions. Is Scale will just come across and be like, hey, I was gonna give you something, but I couldn't. Keeping monsters full of MP is very handy. Like, Cune mentioned, monsters do use up MP. As they just exist. I mean, they are magic. Considering this tower's the only place where monsters really exist, or at least where monster eggs can be found, it's kind of important. I don't know why monsters are so important, but they just are. Maybe that's the difference between a familiar or monster. A familiar is a tamed monster. Well, that troll had stepped in a frog trap. And that's a very cute troll, to be perfectly honest. Monster designs in this game are pretty nice. I do enjoy them a lot. Even noises are kind of interesting designs. Now, unlike some other roguelikes, there is no reason to rush out of a floor. A lot of, especially modern ones, will have a reason to try and rush out of a floor. See the Ghost in Spelunky or other similar things. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are great. Anyway, with this floor done, frosts are annoying critters. Fortunately, I think it's the damage that wakens you, but frosts are pretty tough. Very tough, in fact. Or at least when they use their blizzard attack. Or we could have been because we were sleeping. That would also make sense. No more trolls. Oh, one more going up. Maybe we'll encounter other people. No, no one. Oils, I believe, are fairly useless. Ah, a better weapon, a sword this time. A bronze sword. That's very handy. Well, we might as well use one of those. The Elfrain. And it's a bronzo of just ordinary bronze. Oh, swords follow the very standard, you know, bronze, iron, I think steel, and then gold. Yeah, gold is going to be, well, on top of it being gold and being extremely good to hold on to for money purposes, it's also apparently a good thing to make swords out of, which it really isn't. Gold is a very soft metal. It does not hold an edge well, and it does not maintain an edge well. So it's very poor. Now, the maps are randomly generated, but you will see many repeating designs. Although with the randomized exit point, it's useful to familiarize yourself with these floors. I remember this type of floor a lot. I think it's one of the more common ones. Oh dear, a confusion trap. And there goes our Wump. And yes, enemies can gain experiences as well. Okay, Cune. This is why you kind of want to level up your allies and keep them fairly consistently leveled. It's only because they will swap out like that. Anyway, time for some fire. Confusion traps are the most annoying traps. Anyway, with Cune now being the one on the floor, Wumps are very good for the support magics, but they're not good for anything else. As you saw, it just died. You also level up faster than enemies, which is a thing that they do here. I don't know why, but they do. That's what it seems like, at least. And it makes sense. I mean, and monster levels, they persist outside. Your levels don't, so they have to come back at a decent rate. But you don't want to be overly grinding, like, constantly to get your monsters up. This frost is pretty tough. Not much on this floor. Not much at all. And we are currently on floor 8. We'll complete to floor 10. And yeah, the more expensive things are always later on. And yeah, I believe that's an accurate statement, which is that your HP goes up if you use a Medi Herb at full health. Otherwise, you just restore health. I think that's how it goes. And that's not good. And one of these times we're gonna meet our match. But not yet. Really not much else to say at this point. We've been briefed on the basics of everything. Zone Seed. We need red oil, I believe. Yeah. Rusting means it gets worse. Ah, cyclones. They're very good early one to get. Much more than, say, the noises. Especially for a wind one. I don't know why, but wind element just is really powerful sometimes. In fact, a lot of the time. There are also seasons which influence how the elements go. Fire, wind, and water, which is why the fire ray, was it? Yeah, that turns it into fire. You'll see a lot more fire enemies. Useful for if you have, say, a good whatever the opposing element is, which is, I want to say wind? The game does not, did say, and I wasn't paying attention, I just skipped right through it, but, it's handy if you have a specific element you're trying to exploit. Now, these pennies are worth money. If your guys get lost, that's what tame bells are for. So yeah, we'll be taking our break. Ooh, this troll has something equipped. It's a hammer troll. It is hammer trolls, because they have a weapon, they're pretty tough than their other equivalents in comparison to regular trolls. Yeah, we'll be taking a break at floor 10 and seeing what all we can do with our newfound money. And plus, can you hear? Okay, that leads us back to the beginning. More hammer trolls. There's gotta be the way forward somewhere around here. Now, there's more than just swords. It's very important to realize there are magics, sticks, and staves as well. Ice Wand. That is going to be worth throwing away, well, giving the Vita Seed to Cune here. Because I believe it is a better weapon. Yes, 17 versus... It's unfortunate, actually, they don't have a direct comparison. Actually, they're roughly the same, but it is also Ice Elemental. Which is a little unusual for me to decide to do with a fire guy, but a Skin Deep. Maybe it's gonna be better? Might as well use the Fire Ray. Now we are in the fire season. I can imagine the havoc this wreaks on the ecosystem around, because it's like, and suddenly you've changed the entire season. Why? I don't know. You just did. Ooh, another egg. Later eggs are very, very good to have. Oh, right. You can also give the seeds to, the, monsters. Oh, an eyeball. That one definitely we're gonna use. Oh, good, and it's a cyclone. Cyclones are very, as I said, very good. Well, there's the exit. This type of floor is very straightforward and... ooh, boy. Oh, fortunately, they're only... Notice how much more damage we did. That's not only a level and a elemental difference, but that's also probably the fire season taking effect as well. Now, living flames just look cool. Or flames as they're called here. I call them living flame. I'm a bit of a Final Fantasy nerd. And I love Final Fantasy V a lot. As you may have noticed based on the Final Fantasy, the Fiesta runs I did. They're, I had a bit of fun with them. Although pairing him up with Cune here may not have been a great idea. I want to see what's in the other egg. Remember, we can only carry 5 familiars. Let's see. Oh no, the Octos. We could always Octos. Oh no. Octos is gonna get himself horribly murdered. Let's see. Oh yeah, Shark Jaw. He just needs some levels. Fortunately, because the HP regenerates, getting damaged is not a problem. Getting the monster knocked out, well, that's a problem. And okay, and he does have him behind me. Good. Medi-herbs. Ah, yes, and here we go. Oh, Helix 13. Here's the good example of elemental differences. That cyclone was taking no damage. Which means, yeah, it is... Water is strong against fire, which is strong against wind, which is... yeah. Yes. Fire is weak to water, which is weak to wind, which is weak to fire. Basic elemental triangle. Not always how they do it, but it is a way to do it. And your level discrepancy will mess with that quite a bit. Let's see what's in this corner, and then we'll head to floor 10. Whereupon we'll probably warp out. Although I think there might be a scene that happens the first time you warp out. I mean, after all, you have to inform your mother, hey, Cune has been found. Why, we have no idea. He doesn't know what happened. Or anything, but, notice how his crystal is gray as opposed to an elemental option. And yes, you can have flames of the water element. And you are just a hunter. That is correct. Who are you? Just a treasure hunter. Gosh, I'm famous now. Yeah, I'm famous now. Wow. This is our second collar. The first time you get to floor 10, he gives it to you. You can't get any other collars, so you only get 2 collars. Absolutely. Where he got it from, I have no idea. Or she. We don't know. Anyway. Now we can have Octos out as well. And we can actually set up an actual plan. An actual plan of attack. There we go. Octos provides spell backup. Q attack directly. Octos, you go in back. Q&A, you go in front. Everyone form up. See, it's very easy for monsters to get out of formation. Now, Q&A is a bit weak, so the real power is gonna come from us, assuming we don't run into horrible wind creatures. And Octos has leveled. They can gain multiple levels, which is one of the good things in this game. And we now have a confused Q&A. They get a little confused by corners. Our monster friends get a little confused by corners, and it's a little sad sometimes. I don't know why, but they do. This flame is going to be a bit tough. There we go. 13 experience. Again, more levels for all of our beasties, the better. A balloon. Balloons are a bit of an odd creature, but they're still pretty cool. I mean, just look at that. Look at that angry bottom half. It's wonderful. The designs are just great. And remember, every square is legit. And we could use some more levels, I think. There's Blume. Oh, he's no problem. And now a level 3 Octos. He's rapidly catching up. He's a good child. He's a good little boy. What's not a good little boy is the fact that we've just been... kind of double-teamed by these guys. This is a bit of a problem. Hopefully Q&A can hold him off, or help us kill him before he dies. But Q&A does have a bit of health, I believe, as opposed to most of our other critters. And there goes Q&A. And yes, I believe enemies can... Oh dear. It is time, I believe, for us to vamoose from here. Yes, go to bed, child. I'm assuming that's a rooster. Well, it was a wump. It was a useless wump egg. And our other skin deep, we got 2 skin deep 2s. That brown zone level -1 is gonna be a bit of a problem. Now remember it said we can't take more than 5 items or familiars. Which sadly means Wump. Good old Wump. He's gonna have to sit out. Because we want our sword and we want our shield. Ah yes, and she's our save point. Very handy to have an off-tower save. And with that, we shall return. Remember to keep a positive attitude. It is your strongest weapon. Got more of these coming up. We'll see what we can do about incorporating more of these little messages from Crystallis. They've got some good ones.